Good morning, guys. Rob's Arcade. It's Midweek Breakdown. Hang out.
Rob's Arcade, Rob's Arcade, where the games get played and the games get saved so they can be played on another day. Rob's Arcade.
Excuse me. And welcome back to Rob's Arcade. I'm your host, as always, Rob French. And of course, we have with us today Mr. R4 is back in action. Yes, good to have you back, buddy. He's been getting a little work done, getting ready for the new Obi-Wan series coming out to Disney Plus. But he's back, ready for action, and I'm back as well for another midweek breakdown. Now, typically I come to you guys on Wednesdays with the midweek breakdown, but I've been working a lot this week. I'm back in Virginia. I'm back in action, back in business as usual, and I'm back at the restaurant I work at. Someone's on vacation. We've had a couple of call outs, so I've been pretty much at the restaurant all week long. And yeah, I know it's been a lot of hours away, buddy. And didn't have a lot of time. I got some filming done yesterday. I did make it to the comic shop, but I just didn't have enough time to squeeze out an episode for the Wednesday midweek breakdown. For those of you who don't know what the midweek breakdown, if this is your first time here, first off, hit that subscribe button. You know, don't want to miss any upcoming episodes of Rob's Arcade. We got all kinds of cool stuff, which I'll go into. Thank you, buddy. Yeah. We got all kinds of cool stuff. I'll go into that a little bit later. But yeah, typically the midweek breakdown, I hit you guys up on Wednesday. It's new comic book day, and just talk about new comic books, share the books I read with you guys last week, as well as just any kind of like nerd info that might be going on, as well as like new episodes of the midweek breakdown on Wednesday. We also get new episodes of Moon Knight right now on Disney Plus, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. But like I said, we're about about 60 days out from Ms. Marvel, and about 60 days out from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that are going to be hitting on Disney Plus. I feel like they're going to be overlapping a little bit. I think Ms. Marvel will probably drop on a Wednesday, and that'll be typically the new air day for that, like Moon Knight and a lot of the other Marvel shows that have popped up. And then Obi-Wan got pushed back a couple of days, but we're getting two episodes, that's right, on the debut, which is I think on the Friday the 27th instead of May 25th. So I think they'll have like a little bit of overlapping. I think we'll have like both shows available. So I think that's going to be a fun couple of weeks coming up in a couple of months here, where we'll have a lot of stuff coming out from Disney Plus. Yeah, I'm pretty excited too. Now we have a new episode of Moon Knight. I'm gonna try not to do like too many spoilers if you haven't seen the episode this week, but I mean, for a topsy-turvy, weird, bendy kind of show, it got even weirder, especially in the last few minutes of the episode. I don't know if it was because it was 420 or what, but I found myself like, what the heck am I watching? Especially at the very end. It was almost like I was watching like 12 Monkeys or something like that. Very, very, very bizarre. But overall, very cool show, very interesting. I love how each show, whether it's Loki or WandaVision or The Falcon, each exist in that universe and yet kind of have their own voice, their own style, and don't really necessarily, feel the need to fit and feel like the other show. They can kind of be their own independent thing. So even though Moon Knight isn't, say, as action-packed as maybe Falcon and, the Winter Soldier, it definitely has its own appeal. Now, there's not a lot of action, like I said, which I think kind of slows the show down just a wee bit. I mean, I found myself getting really excited at things like just trying to cross a chasm, and you got like collapsing rocks and falling. It's like that stuff you can get in a video game from like the 80s. Yeah, it's not like really like super intense fighting kind of action that we're used to seeing in the Marvel movies. But overall, like I said, it's still a lot of fun to watch. And like right now too, they're also getting into some cool stuff with the comic book that I've read, where they're actually starting to like explore some of his origins from the comic book and talk a little bit about that. So as weird and crazy as the show is, I'm hoping a lot like WandaVision was in the same way, by the time we get to the last episode, last couple episodes, it'll all kind of start to really make sense. So if you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend checking it out. It's really fun. And of course, it's, something to keep you over, tied over while we wait for Doctor Strange to hit the theaters. And speaking of theaters, we also got the trailer out for Thor. Now, I didn't do a reaction video. Sometimes I'll do one of those, but I was at work. Like when I watched, like I said, I've been doing a lot of work lately, and that looks really, really cool as well. Can't wait to see that. Looks like we got the same director back from Ragnarok, and there was just something about the way, the look, the feel, the sound, everything about Ragnarok that I just absolutely, typically in my opinion, a lot of times that third movie sometimes just really fails in the trilogy. You get the first two movies, they're really solid, really great films, and then sometimes, the third film just really kind of falls apart, doesn't really hold up as well. And this is one that just really reinvented itself with the third film. And now we got a fourth movie coming out, which is something else that just kind of like blows my mind. Typically, you get like an Iron Man 1, 2, 3, Captain America 1, 2, 3, you do like a Batman 1, 2. Very rarely do we get like a fourth film from just like an independent superhero franchise. So I'm really excited to see where that's going to go. And just, that really cool last look as we see Jane holding the broken hammer, not just her own hammer, but she's like reassembled the broken hammer. So just a really exciting time for Marvel. Yeah, I'm getting into the comics, speaking of Marvel. Just a really cool time for Marvel right now. Now, before we jump into the comics that I picked up this week, let's go ahead, we'll take a quick break, look at what I read this past week, and then we'll be right back. Okay, guys? So go ahead and let's roll that footage, and we'll be right back, guys. Hey everybody, what is up? Robert French here with my good buddy R4D1. Say hello everybody. There we go. What are we doing here? Oh, that's right. We're doing comic books, and we're sharing, I guess, what books I picked up this week coming up. But before we do that, we got to look at all the books I read last week and see exactly, did I even tally? I don't think I tallied. I got my book here. I wrote down the date, but I didn't put anything in the freaking book. So anyway, I like to kind of keep a tally, little check marks. But anyway, let's just go ahead and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We read 8 comics this week. Let's go ahead and take a look at those comic books. All right, buddy, you got it. Let's see here. So first up, we read Batman number 5, 89. Really cool book. Liking this a lot. And I went out and decided, I made like 3 runs to the comic shop this week. Decided to go ahead and pick up this alternate variant cover here. So we got these 2 guys. Also read King Spawn number 9. Yeah, King Spawn number 9. Also have a variant cover here in case you didn't catch that last week. Very cool. We picked up, read Miles Morales 37, traveling across like the multiverse right now, trying to find his uncle in this story. And then on one of my second or third runs to the comic shop, I picked up this What If title, where he's also kind of like, we're looking at Miles Morales across the multiverse. What if he were Captain America? What if he were Wolverine? And this has been a really fun series. Really great book. A lot of stuff going on in this little one-shot issue right here. We got some really cool stuff here. Little Star Wars action. Love this. Kind of like fills in some of the story with the movie. Picked up the Iron Fist number 1. Just decided to kind of check it out. Pretty cool book. Liked it a lot. Didn't really grab a whole lot of stuff my first run out to the comic shop this week, so I went back, picked up some more stuff, as well as Flashpoint Beyond number 0. Really cool. Kind of a follow-up to the Flashpoint of yesteryear. And then this is really cool. This is we got 30 years of Image that we've been celebrating. And this is issue number 1, April 2022. A really cool book, only $6, and a lot of stuff. As you can see, this is a really thick book. There's like 8 or 9 stories, different artists, different writers, really fun. And it's one of those, like, it's kind of like a cool annual where you just get like a lot of different stories. And one thing I've always loved about Image is that they're not, priced very high. This issue here of King Spawn is only $2.99, whereas most books like this issue here is $6 itself just for a single issue. And then this one right here is $4 just for an issue. So Image has always done a really good job at keeping their books really well priced. And like I said, you get like 8 or 9 stories or something like that for $6. Really cool, really fun. And I don't know, I mean, like, I only read 8 comics, but does this count as more? Should we round up? Would it be like a even dozen, even though it's not quite? I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I should round it up to a dozen? Let me know in the comment section. All right, let's go ahead, jump back to me and what I picked up this week here on Rob's Arcade. Say goodbye, everybody. All right, well, there we have it. Some really cool stuff last week. Some really awesome comics. I recommend you guys getting out to your local comic shop. I'm excited to be back here in Richmond, even though I miss Florida. I miss everything going on there. And I do miss the guys over at the Comic Book Club Incorporated. I'm still watching you guys on YouTube. And if you have a chance, guys, please go out. I keep meaning to share their links in my videos, and I keep forgetting. But please, if you're on YouTube and you got a few minutes, check out the Comic Book Club Incorporated. It's really easy, 3 words, Comic Book Club Incorporated. It's not even a 3 word, it's like one abbreviation, right? Yeah, so real simple, check their video out. They'll show you everything that kind of came out this week, every week when it comes to comic books. They got a new video every Wednesday, and then you can pop in with me and see, what I actually pick up from my local comic shop. But get out there, support your local comic shop, guys. I mean, no matter where you're at, these people, they spend their hard-earned days and money and hours slaving away to provide us with comic books, and the least we can do is go out there, meet them halfway, and buy some comic books from these people. So anyway, very happy to be back here, and like I said, Richmond. I actually stopped at 2 comic shops this week, this Wednesday. Yesterday I hit Alpha Comics first and picked up a couple of books, and then traveled over to Stories over on West Broad Street to pick up the rest. And I recommend, if you guys are local or you just happen to find yourself in Richmond, Virginia, check out these stores as well as Richmond Comics here in the area. Really cool stores. We got Alpha Comics, Stories, and Richmond Comics. Some really cool comic stores. There's tons. There's even Velocity. I mean, there's dozens here in Richmond. So, make sure you get out there and support those guys. Anyway, let's go ahead and enough talking. Exactly. Let's go ahead and jump into what I picked up yesterday. Now, this didn't actually come out this week. This came out, I believe, last week, but it's the first issue in a 6-issue run from Earth Prime. Really excited about this. It's got a story in here written by Cameron Johnson, who, if you don't know, plays Lucius on Luke Fox on Batwoman on the CW. And this is really cool because these are the CW shows brought to life, if you will, in the comic book universe. So, exactly, it's a little bit backwards. We have these shows that are inspired by comic books. Now we've got some comic books that, as we see here on the back, are inspired by the TV shows. Now, this did come out yesterday. This is the 2nd issue of the Earth Prime with Superman and Lois. Really cool show as well. I like that a lot. Been jumping back into a lot of CW shows. Started watching some Krypton last night. Gave me some really cool, like, Star Wars vibes. I know it's not Star Wars. It's got a cool Star Wars vibe. That's all I'm saying. He doesn't agree. Anyway, I started watching Krypton, and I'm always watching My Naomi. I love that show. Really cool show as well. And then, of course, where would CW be without the Flash? And always been one of my favorite comics. This is a issue dedicated to bringing your kids to work. There's some really cool variants, and I just really loved this one a lot. But here we have Wally bringing his boy in, Kid Flash to work, giving him a little noogie action. Speaking of the Flash, teaming up with our boy Nightwing here. I've always loved this duo. They're just really great together. It's kind of like, Batman and Superman, if you will. Nightwing and the Flash have a really good relationship. Damian and Superman's son have a great relationship. And then, of course, Batman and Superman kind of established the world's finest. But this is a really cool take on that second gen world's finest, if you will. Yeah, I like it too. Speaking of Nightwing and Robins, we have the Robins, the final issue. This is one that I've been really excited to see how it all plays out. And this will be one that, once I've read the whole 6 issues and I finish this book, I will go back and read it straight through issue 1 through 6, because it's just a really, really wicked tale. And I like this because it's like you never quite know what's hiding in the shadows with Batman. You kind of have all these Robins trapped inside of her, kind of like trapped in Batman's past, if you will. Just very, very cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. All right, this is going to be, I think, one of your favorites, buddy. Oh, yeah, Star Wars. That's right, ring the bell. This is Star Wars, Darth Vader, dealing with the Crimson Reign, Crimson Dawn. And I like this a lot because these comics really do a great job of illustrating what's going on in between the movies that we love so much. And the main title right now, Star Wars, we're dealing with the events that take place between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, as well as this right here. And these are also events, characters, stories, and everything that spill over from the events of the Solo film as well. So it's just really neat to see how it all connects. And that's one of the things I think I'm really interested to see about with the Obi-Wan show as well, is that, Boba Fett and Mandalorian do a great job of telling stories that fit into the Star Wars universe and feel very much like Star Wars. But I feel like with the Obi-Wan show, we're going to get something that is Star Wars. Like, it's not going to feel like it fits into that world, or it's like trying to be a part of that world. I think this is going to be a show that really just pulls everything together, from not only the live action episodes of 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, and 3, but also some of the animated stuff where we have like the Clone Wars, Rebels, and I think a lot of those characters and events are going to start to tie into this live action stuff as well, which is what really has us excited about. Yep. I know he's going to blow a gasket. That's what has us excited, I think. I can't wait to see something like maybe some live action, Bad Batch. Maybe get a live action Crosshair. Yeah, no, get a live action Wrecker. That'd be so cool. Anyway, all right, back to Marvel. We've got Wolverine. Speaking of Wreckers, Wolverine, one of the baddest Wreckers in the Marvel universe, back there with his homeboy Deadpool. Just a really fun cover. A lot of variants on this one as well this month, but I just really love this. We got all these dead bodies just kind of hanging out around here, and then well, they're not, I think they're robots. I don't want to say dead bodies because they're all sparking. Yeah, they're all got glowing eyes. They're all sparking. They're not dead bodies. Don't worry, everybody. They're okay. So they're all sparking and glowing and frying out. And then back here, oh yeah, you can see there's a head. Deadpool's taking a selfie. They got the cables all hanging down, which is kind of cute. I wonder if that's a inside joke cable. Maybe looking too hard. Maybe it's a stretch. I don't know. All right, dude. All right, I know they all can't be winners, and yes, all right, he wants to jump in now. It's time for, I think, everybody's favorite part of the show, where we do our pick of the week, and R4 is going to help out with that and show us what we picked for our pick of the week. You ready, R4? He was born ready. All right, let's check it out. Let's see what R4 and I picked for this week's pick of the week. All right, there we have it. Thank you, R4. Appreciate that, buddy. You got it. All right, so here we have our pick of the week this week. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Armageddon game pregame. The back here. Who is the Rat King? What are his nefarious plans? How can he be defeated? Can he be defeated? I know it does. It does sound really. He's like, why do we pick that? That sounds so awful. It does sound pretty grim, and I did have to fight R4 for the Star Wars comic book. He really wanted to go. Yeah, I know, dude. I know. Don't worry. We'll do some Star Wars picks as we get closer to Obi-Wan. Trust me. But yeah, I had to go with this. Just recently celebrating, of course, the cinematic release of Ninja Turtles. That was a really amazing thing just this past month, or actually March, just back in March. And this book is like, it's a thick book. It's got a lot of stuff in here. We've got the Kingdom of the Rats Prelude, Turtles 84, the annual 2020, and then the annual 2021. The 2022 annual just came out. So, I mean, this is a heavy read. Like, there is a lot of stuff in this book. And then also, we got some cool art here by Kevin Eastman on the inside. You got to love that original Ninja Turtle art right there. Just very cool stuff. As well as we've got 84 is written, or the story is done by Kevin Eastman, Bobby Curnow, and Tom Waltz. But yeah, Kevin Eastman, back, one of the original creators, back behind the wheel, kind of helping out with this book. And it's an expensive book. It was $6.99, $7 for this book. But I mean, just a really cool cover, really thick, really heavy book. And I just, I think I'll just always gravitate, to the Ninja Turtles. And then the fact that we've got different stories in here, you get different artists, different characters. And that's, in my opinion, even for $7, it's a good buy for your buck because you're getting a lot of material. And that was something I think I've always looked for, and that every comic book fan looks for when they're spending that. Yeah, when they're spending that dollar. Exactly. Right. Exactly. You can buy Batman, you can get Superman comic books, or you can buy Spider-Man or Wolverine, or, you can go buy an Avengers comic book, X-Men, the Justice League, Teen Titans, and get a bunch of characters and a bunch of material in one comic. I used to love reading the Tales from the Crypt and the weird science comics, because they always had multiple stories in each book. You could buy, one comic book and get maybe one story from the Punisher for like $1.75, or spend that same $1.75, $1.50 and get 3 stories in a Tales from the Crypt comic book. So anytime that DC or Marvel throw in a little extra content, a couple of stories in one comic book, I'm always going to go for that. And annuals as well. I've always been a sucker for annuals, yeah. So anyway, guys, that's the episode. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out. I want to welcome back R4. And thank you, buddy. Yeah. Thank you for... Yeah, anytime. You got it. Thank you for helping me out this week. It hasn't been the same without you, man. Trying to do these pick of the weeks and arguing back and forth, it just hasn't been the same. So it's glad to have you back. Glad you guys came back. Please come back again. Please join us again. Yeah, that's right. Break his little robot heart. Anyway, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you do know when we're back. So we've got tons of cool stuff, midweek breakdowns, new game Fridays, toy unboxings. I got testimonials I'll do just to kind of keep you guys up with what's going on in my own personal life, which I know is riveting, absolutely riveting stuff. Make sure you comment down below. I love to hear from you. I always check the comments. I'll respond back in kind. Make sure you shoot me a thumbs up for some support. Me and R4 love it. And then, of course, make sure you share the video. You know, there might be somebody out there who digs comic books or might just think this is fun, or you might think I'm an idiot. You're like, you got to see this fool. So make sure you share this video. And remember, it's not goodbye, simply to be continued. And until next time, don't spend that quarter anywhere else. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out. Take care. Go out, read some comic books. Remember, it's the best superpower you can have. Until next time, guys. Later.